story that I have of where I needed to seek forgiveness with my daughter, Kate. Kate has given me permission to share the story with you. She's my 9-year-old who is, if you see her around, she's always joyful and got a smile on her face. She loves people. She's very relational and creative and crafty, but she is not a detail girl. And this is a school morning. You guys who are young people at home, you understand you've just finished breakfast. We've got the 3 kids. They know the drill of what they're supposed to do. Kate knows she's got the list. Brush her teeth, brush her hair, make her bed, PJs them down the chute, pack her lunch, pack the backpack. You got it. And I'm now doing the dishes, got the lunches set aside, I'm getting myself ready, and I'm looking for Kate. It's 5 minutes to the bus. I can't find her. Go downstairs. There she is in the craft room, making a lovely card for her friend Lizzie on the bus today. None of the things on the list are done. So here we have the expectation, the list, and here we have the reality. And you can see the anger in me just rises fast. And I can tell you, I asked, didn't probably even stop to ask, am I angry about the right things? Because, here's the list, and those are things she has to do. That's her responsibility. But here's my confession. I did not get angry in the right way. I just burst out yelling, Catherine Grace Larson, what are you thinking? Get going. What are you every morning I have to yell at you to get you out the door. Come on, get upstairs. And I watch her shoulders slumping before she starts running upstairs to start getting ready. And I'm huffing up the stairs, and I can't believe she doesn't get ready on her own. Dang, put up with this. Then I'm packing her lunch because I know that's not going to happen if I don't get it done. And I mumble under my breath, Lord, please help me. Help me love Kate. Help me to be the mom she needs right now. Please forgive me for my anger. Forgive me for not being the fruits of the Spirit. Forgive me for not being patient, for not being humble. And that's the first step. The first step is to forgive as we have been forgiven. Like we said before, you can't do this in your own strength. You need to pray. God in you is what's going to help you forgive. So God in me is now going to help me in this process of forgiveness with Kate and reconciliation with her. The second step is that I slow down, I take a deep breath, and I let God fill me. Let him fill me with compassion and humility, gentleness, and patience. And the scripture talks about clothing ourselves in these things. And that in the therapy world, we talk about empathy. And that is where I'm going to separate who Kate is from what she has done, or in this case, not done. And I'm going to attribute to her, she is a wonderful, loving child of God who he adores. And yes, she didn't do her list, but I love her, and I'm going to view her as someone who is worthy of God's love. The next step is to put on love. And I can tell you, when Kate came in the kitchen at that point, it was not hard for me to put on love for her. I love her. She is my child, and I adore her. But remember, we talked about those difficult relationships, or maybe a relationship where you feel like you have to forgive over and over and over again. It's really hard, or maybe you have to think through, I'm going to clothe myself in love. Right now, I'm going to wrap myself in love for this person, because really, we have to be coming from that place of love before we can do that next step. The next step is that is to bear with one another. And that's the hard work of forgiveness. That's where we're going to say, we're going to review the past. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry I used words that made you feel little and small and ashamed and guilty. And I'm going to listen as she readily confesses to me, Mom, I am sorry I didn't work on my list before I worked on that card. I knew I needed to do those things and I didn't, and I'm sorry. And that last step is where we can hug each other, we can forgive one another, and we can restore a relationship that's deeper now because we've gone through forgiveness.
One of the women last night walked out after the service and said, I hated this. I said, why? She goes, well, because you guys had always talked about it, but now I know how. That was great. As we close, we want to do two things. The first is that what Heather has been outlining here, she and I would say, is for the bumps, the bruises, the hurts, the pain. Some of you have been brutalized. Some of you have been We want to make sure that we don't confuse forgiveness with enabling sick behavior. This is telling the truth